Most people in the world experience video games as sort of a relaxing, nice, calm pastime, with their skill ceiling ending somewhere at Sekiro or Elden Ring.
Sweet Jesus Christ.
But what a lot of people don't realize is that games can get brutal, freakishly brutal. Ever since PC game publishing and game dev as a whole became more accessible, independent game developers became more and more eager to try out new things, pushing the industry in never-before-seen directions. And while for some those directions may have been unique and stunning art styles, or brand new game mechanics that were just a bit too brave for mainstream gaming to pick up, one of those directions, as a lot of you caught on at this point, was difficulty. Rage games, while being fairly niche during their birth, are now widely beloved, with a lot of them actually managing to break into the mainstream gaming sphere with titles like Celeste, Jump King, or even Geometry Dash if you want to go there. But one game which could actually be credited as one of the parents of the entire genre now lays mostly untouched. This is I Wanna Be the Guy. 2007 was a while ago. I bet some of you weren't even born back then. I was though, I'm cool. But what was born in 2007 is an indie game by Michael O'Reilly, better known online as Kayan, titled I Wanna Be the Guy. I Wanna Be the Guy was very unique for its time. In 2007, indie games and self-publishing wasn't really that popular or accessible. But against all odds, Kayan managed to win over the hearts of millions of gamers with his game. It was fresh, unlike anything else that was released at that time. While other games tried fitting into some pre-instated rules and limitations, I Wanna Be the Guy wasn't afraid to throw all of that out of the window. It was unapologetic, with cruel trolls that beforehand could be seen only in something like Cat Mario. It was mean, making fun of you at every possible point in the game and laughing at your expense for every mistake you made. You never even get an easy difficulty option, and if you choose medium, you get a cheeky pink bow thrown on your hand, and you get extra save points that call you a wuss if you use them. It was brutal, with stupidly tight platforming and really hard to master controls. You got practically no leeway unlike games like Celeste or Geometry Dash, and you had no HP to spare. Every pixel you weren't meant to stand on ended you instantly and sent you back to your last checkpoint.
Time to ignite this shit. Okay, well that's enough of impossible mode.
And of course the references. This game is practically jam-packed with love letters to retro gaming, and often pays homage to some of the most well-known titles in the industry, like Street Fighter or Punch-Out! The game was obviously not without flaws, but its generally consistent good level of polish gave its desired result. It's been played by millions of people, including a lot of influential ones such as PewDiePie or Markiplier, and Kayan cemented himself in internet history as a well-respected game developer. The game was a one-and-done project. There weren't any updates or DLCs to come after the release. But in 2011, Kayan made a decision that would change the course of this game's life forever, and would turn it from a simple rage platformer into a game with one of the most fascinating, tightly knit and hard-working communities ever. In 2011, Michael released the source code for I Wanna Be the Guy, opening the floodgates for what was about to be the biggest catalog of fan games ever created around a game ever. Five Nights at Freddy's didn't get as much fan games. Super Mario Bros. Doesn't have as much ROM hacks as I Wanna Be the Guy has fan games. How did this community get born? What makes it so special, and why has it laid dormant for such a long time? We're about to dive in head first and explore gaming's most fascinating hidden community ever. To understand why I Wanna Be the Guy gathered such a community around it, and contrary to what I led you to believe for how secluded this community is, it's not a small one, we have to go back all the way to 2010, when a person named Solgren, who you may recognize as the creator of the wonderful precision platformer Wings of V, created one of, if not the first I Wanna Be the Guy fan games ever, I Wanna Be the Boshi. As you might have already noticed if you were paying attention, and if you weren't, then what are you doing? This fan game was actually released before I Wanna Be the Guy guy's source code was released to the public. This is because IWBTG actually, from what I understand, was built by Solgren from the ground up, and with such high production value, you may get why this game became so popular in the first place. It was the only fan game aside from the original to break its way into the mainstream media, being played by the likes of PewDiePie and other influencers. The visuals were amped up to the max compared to the original, the difficulty was ramped up, the references, the gameplay, the gimmicks, everything got upgraded tenfold compared to the original. And with IWBTG making its way around the internet and the source code now being accessible to practically everyone, people decided to dip their toes into making their own fan games, which resulted in, according to the IWBTG fan games website, 8,500 fan games. Slight correction, according to the Delicious Fruit website, this number is currently over 12,000. Not levels or anything, actual full-length games. It's a stupid amount, ridiculous even, but that's what makes this community so beautiful. One look at their Discord server tells you pretty much everything you need to know. These guys are probably the most tightly knit, friendly and hard-working communities in the gaming sphere. They hold constant events, they have various channels for game dev and people's ridiculous achievements like doing specific stuff in needle fan games or doing avoidance stuff. And the most adorable part about this all is, their rules channel is called Etiquette. Seriously, have you ever seen at least one other server like this? This community consists of like the most polite and well-mannered people on earth, I shit you not. And this love, care, and passion that they have for their craft shows not only in their Discord server and in their community, but also in the fan games themselves. With such a high number of these fan games, you might think there's some crappy game maker demos, but if you care to actually look into the topic, the quality is staggering. It's truly a sight to behold, and with all the positive representation I'm giving these guys, you might ask yourself, why is this community not as popular as, for example, Geometry Dash's community? And the answer to this question is surprisingly quite simple, yet saddening at the same time for as simple as it is to fix. We're all on the internet. I think you understand that. And I think you should also understand at this point that to create a community around basically anything, the most important thing is media coverage. Whether you're trying to advertise a product or build a community around your persona, getting out there and reaching people in the media sphere is the most important part of that. And IWBTG in this community kind of has a problem with that. First of all, there is little to no coverage by any influential people in the industry. Yes, some big YouTubers did play IWBTG and make videos about it, but that was years ago and those videos didn't even perform that well. Currently, there are no big channels that would cover this game or that would be completely centered around it. Second, for some reason, IWBTG content just seems to be drowned by the YouTube algorithm. Contrary from what I led you to believe, there are a lot of channels based on IWBTG and the fan games, but they're simply just not pushed by the algorithm. For example, this channel, Pyre, who I took all the fan game footage from. I'm sorry by the way, please don't copy strike me. He does super high quality completions and showcases of fan games and gets on average like 1,000 views, which for this community is a big number. I think you get what I mean. There's so much quality untapped content to be explored in this fandom, but it's being slept on by both the influential content creators and the YouTube algorithm. And this is exactly why this community is so hidden. Honestly, it's really sad that this community and the fan games that they create don't get as much attention as they deserve, because they do. The quality of the produced content and just how nice the people in here are is what makes this community stand out for the rest. Yet it's sadly just drowned out by the harsh reality. I hope that someday this will change, but for now, I was your host, IGN Devi, and thank you so much for watching this video. Goodbye.